What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to a new video. If this is your first time here on the channel, thanks so much for stopping by. Definitely check out some of my other videos, and if you like what you see, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. So I've been playing video games for a while. I started playing back when I was 6 years old, probably before that, but I definitely remember when I was 6 back in 1986, we got an NES. And lately I've been thinking about how long I've been playing video games and how video games just aren't a way for me to pass time. There really are some games out there that definitely mean a lot to me, and I can kind of link them to different periods of my life. So today I kind of just wanted to chit chat about that. I wanted to share with you 3 games that will always have a special place in my heart. Let's get into it. I do want to preface this by saying that, these aren't necessarily the best video games, or at least I don't consider them to be the best video games ever. But as I said, they do hold a special place in my heart, and they most likely probably always will. So let's start off with the first game here. And it's Tetris. Now, if you've been watching for a while, you know that I do have a sibling. I have an older brother. I'm the youngest child. My brother is 8 years older than me. And I feel pretty comfortable saying so many years later that when we were younger, and he could probably agree to this as well, when we were younger, he was probably the worst brother ever. But I loved him for that. I still looked up to him. Anything he said, I did. That's just the way it was. And he totally knew that, and he took advantage of it. Back in the day, my brother loved video games, and that's probably why I started playing them, because he enjoyed them so much, and I would just sit back and watch him play because, of course, he was selfish and he was not having his little sister hold the controller. He just wanted me to watch him play. And the same thing could be said when I was at my grandma's house. She always had a console at her house. So when all the cousins on my mom's side would go to my grandma's house, and I was the youngest for a while, and the only girl. So I definitely didn't get any playtime on the Nintendo back in the day. Back in 1989, the Game Boy came out, and I did get a Nintendo Game Boy, and I was stoked. It was like my independence. I could play that Game Boy and whatever games I had whenever I wanted to. I didn't have to ask anyone. I didn't have to wait my turn. It was all mine. And I love that. I really did love that. That was like the best thing ever. And so when I got my Game Boy, like everyone else, it came packed with Tetris, right? And I remember spending so much time playing that game. I literally did. I played Tetris whenever I could, whenever I had a spare moment, I was playing Tetris. Tetris is very special to me because it gave me that sense. It was that first game that I had for the Game Boy that gave me a sense of independence, right? But also it was the first game that any adult ever expressed interest in. My grandma actually would sit down and play Tetris, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever. My grandma was very special to me. She was like my second mom. I spent a lot of time with my grandparents on my mom's side of the family. And it wasn't because my parents were around. It was because I literally enjoyed my time with my grandmother. So my grandma was very good at, recognizing that her grandkids enjoyed something, and she would express interest in it, right? So when she saw that I was playing Tetris, she was like, "Huh, what is that you're playing?" And I let her know. Of course, she watched me play it, and then she picked up. She wanted to play it. I handed over my Game Boy to her, and she literally sat there and played Tetris. And that happened for a while, for years. Whenever my grandma would think about it, randomly, sporadically, she would just ask, "Hey, can I play your Game Boy? I want to play Tetris." And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. One time that I specifically remember, and it'll always bring a smile to my face, we were at the beach. And it was like a family vacation in the summer. We were at the beach. Of course, I brought my Game Boy along. At this time, I think I was maybe 10 or 11, brought my Game Boy with me. And still, my grandma, whenever she'd see me and I had my Game Boy, she'd be like, "Let me get around and let me play." We were at the beach, and my grandma had asked me, "Hey, I want to play Tetris." So I'm like, "Cool," hand it over to her. She's playing Tetris and the batteries die. So the Game Boy dies on us. Again, we're at the beach. It's like nighttime. It wasn't probably late, but it was night. And my grandma was like, okay, well, let's go out and buy some batteries. Her and I literally got in her car and we drove to like the nearest, I think it was like a gas station or it might have been a convenience store, and bought a pack of batteries, came on back to the beach house, and continue to play Tetris. And moments like that just totally bring a smile to my face. I love my grandma. I miss my grandma. And, you know, it's specifically that Game Boy Tetris just makes me think of her all of the time. So yeah, Tetris for the Game Boy will always hold a special place in my heart. Another game that will always hold a special place in my heart is The Legend of Zelda for the NES. So the reason why that first Legend of Zelda will always hold a special place in my heart is for two reasons. One was kind of traumatic, and the other is, of course, it has to do with my older brother. When I was younger, my parents always signed me up for summer camp. So the summer that I was going into second grade, I specifically remember that my mom, and I joke with my mom about this all the time, my mom was running late in the morning. I guess, I don't know, I guess she woke up late, and we were rushing. And now back then, okay, your parents didn't drop you off, or at least this particular camp. My parents didn't drop me off at the camp. They dropped me off at the bus stop. There was a bus stop that you had to be dropped off at. Typically it was like the bus stops were like in front of a school, right? And then it would drive you to the location. So my mom's running late. She drops me off. I really had to go to the bathroom. Okay. Cause you know how it is, right? Your parents are running late. They need to go to work, you know, rush. I had to go to the bathroom on the drive over, and I told my mom, hey, I have to go to the bathroom. She's like, okay, get out the car. We get to the school where the bus stop is. Get out the car, run inside, go use the bathroom, go back out, get on the bus. So I'm like, okay, you know, and again, this is the 80s, right? This is the 80s. Like, no one's thinking, oh, as a parent, let me wait for my child to come outside to make sure and physically see her get on the bus. No, my mom didn't do that. I go use the bathroom, go outside, and guess what? No one's standing out there. There were people standing out there before, but none of the kids were standing out there when I came back from using the bathroom. And I freaked out. I'm standing outside and I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I missed this bus. I go back inside. Again, I'm in second grade, so I'm like 7 years old, right? I'm going into second grade. I go back inside the school and hoping to find some type of adult in the office. There was no one in there. So what do? I walk outside the school, and thinking that I know where I am, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to walk to my grandma's house. To make a long story short, I literally just started walking. I found my way onto like the main road, which was like a boulevard. I found my way on, and I'm walking down the sidewalk, and a car pulls over. Again, this is the 80s. Car pulls over and says that they know me. Now, I'd never seen this man before in my life. They say they know me and they know my grandparents, and they would drop me off at my grandparents' house. So what do? Smart me, being a free spirit, and I'm scared to death, y'all. I'm like, okay, cool. I hop in this car without knowing this adult. Now, thankfully, the man did drop me off to my grandparents' house, and I get to my grandparents' house. Now, I don't know how much time has passed, but I get to my grandparents' house and I knock on the door. No one answers. So I'm literally sitting on the stoop. No one's at home at my grandparents' house, which was very odd because my grandparents were always home. Yeah, turns out that the camp actually contacted my parents and told them that I never made it there. So it was like a search party. All the adults were out looking for me. Whew, that could have really turned bad. I think about this all the time. I might not even have been here. If things would have gone bad, I wouldn't be here to tell the story, right? So yeah, my grandparents get home. They call my parents, let them know that I'm at the house. And, yeah, they wanted to know how I got there. They wanted to know what happened. I couldn't describe the man or the car or anything. And I still don't remember what this person looked like. I don't remember what the car looked. I don't remember anything. I just know that I made it home. Needless to say, I got a nice little whooping for getting in a car of a stranger. Because at that point, they didn't know who it was. They had no clue. Yeah, I got a whooping. I was on punishment for a really long time. And when I was finally off of punishment, I guess my parents felt a little guilty. My mom let me know. She was like, "Hey, I'm gonna take you to Toys R Us. You can get anything that you want." And I'm like, "Okay, this is weird. I've been on punishment. I couldn't even read, you guys. They wouldn't even let me read, but I was on punishment." And she was like, "Yeah, you're off of punishment. I'm gonna take you to Toys R Us. You can decide what you want to get from there." Of course, I go and tell my brother, let him know I'm going to Toys R Us to go get myself something. And he is such a master manipulator, guys. This boy manipulated me into getting The Legend of Zelda. Now, it turns out that his taste in video games are great, right? But he literally manipulated. I had no clue what The Legend of Zelda was, you know? I didn't know anything about it. And I'm not even quite sure how he knew anything about it. It might have been from like a friend of his or whatever. They might have had it and he played it at their house. Regardless, I had no clue about The Legend of Zelda. And to be quite honest, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm a little angry the fact that I didn't get to get whatever it is. I really wanted an easy bake oven. That's what I wanted to get. But nope, instead, I got The Legend of Zelda. And you guys know how this turns out. Of course, we got the game and he wouldn't let me play it. Now, eventually, I did end up playing a bunch of The Legend of Zelda. I never completed it. I thought that game was so hard. I had no clue what it was that I was supposed to do in the game. I just remember roaming around with absolutely no idea what was supposed to happen next. So, yeah, The Legend of Zelda will always hold a special place in my heart because one, it definitely reminds me of how manipulative my brother was. And two, it'll always make me remember about the time that I got into essentially a stranger's car because I was lost. But somehow, by the grace of God, I found my way back home. So those are 3 games that will always hold a special place in my heart. Let me know if you like this video and if you're interested in hearing a couple more, because I definitely have some more stories to tell. In the comment box below, guys, let me know some of the video games that will always hold a special place in your heart. I want to thank all of you for watching this video, and I'll check you next time. Peace.